Look, I know you want to help your friend out. I know you want to help your colleague out. And I know sometimes you want to help the people you care about. But sometimes they just need to fail. There's nothing you can do if they don't learn. There's nothing you can do if they are not willing to change. There's nothing you can do if they're not willing to improve their lives. You can give them everything that they wanted, but if they don't act on it, nothing will ever change. Nothing. I have a friend who's really struggling in their personal life, and I would just give them whatever support that they needed. No, actually, I would give them whatever support I believe they needed. But at the end of the day, I see no results. And not saying that I helped my friend because I wanted to see results, I wanted to feel better about myself. No, I want to see them getting better. But a lot of times, people don't learn until they have failed hard enough for them to realize that if they don't step up their game, if they don't step up their responsibility, if they don't own up to their responsibilities, nothing will ever change. However, one of the interesting things about those type of people is that they will complain about their lives constantly. They will complain to you. They'll complain to everyone around them. But then there's one common denominator is that they don't take any action. They don't take enough action actually to help them get out of the situation. Maybe because they have tied their identity to the situation, which is a dangerous thing that we have talked about in the earlier videos. When you tie your identity to something that you're experiencing or going through, you become more reluctant to change because if it has become your identity, it becomes who you are. And who you are is essentially and inherently hard to change. But getting back to the main point of this episode is that sometimes people just need to fail and keep failing to a point where it hurts so much that they must step up. Some leaders, they rise according to the situation. For some people, they must fail. And it's really, really challenging as a friend, as a family member, or as anyone, to see them failing over and over again. But if they don't learn from their mistakes, there's nothing you can do. In fact, you being there during the entire situation, you being there is probably the most helpful thing that you can provide. Yes, your advice might help, but there is a point where your advice don't add any benefit anymore. Because if the other person is not taking any action, whatever you recommend, whatever you suggest, it's like words going in one ear and coming out of the other ear. You might actually end up wasting your time. And that's when you should back off. And that's when you should let them fail, even if it's hard. Let them fail.